Morena, welcome to today's show. This is the Dog and Pony Show. I am Monique Bradley.
People Morena to everybody.
Morena, great to have you guys with us. We are super excited. We have special guests
Special guests.
beaming in or streaming in from Australia today. They are people that we are super impressed with. We are not worthy. They are Glenn Dibley and Neil McDonald from Fairway Financial in Australia. We're going to bring them into the call right now. Are we ready, Pete?
We are ready.
Here we go. Kia ora, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. G'day from Oz.
Hey, good to have you guys with us. And this is your first time on the Dog and Pony Show, as we often say on the show. So welcome. We're not sure who's the dog and who's the pony, but we are all about attraction, and that's what the Dog and Pony Show was in Victorian times. Did you guys even know that?
No.
Well, there you go. It was all about driving people to come to the circus. And I guess that's what we're all about in media and marketing too. So anyway, thanks for hopping on the call with us today from Australia. What time is it over there right now?
Ooh, 9 a.m.
Oh, okay, that's all right. That's business time. We're okay with that. For people who haven't met you guys before, Neil, let's start with you. Tell us all about you and Fairway Financial.
I have been a financial advisor for 26 years, 31 years in the industry. I followed my father into the industry and been working for myself for that 26 years. My specialty is insurance, people insurance. Business partner Glenn started 6-7 years ago. He'll know more than I.
So I was just going to jump in and say, Glenn, tell us about you and this incredible family you've joined.
Yes, I've been in the industry since 2006, and I think with Fairway since 2015. Is that about right now? Yeah. So, and I'm a financial planner, same as Neil, except I'll do some investment advice as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about the types of people that you look after, because you've got quite a broad range of clientele. So let's talk about the personas that you care for.
Yeah. Well, we like to think we can help anyone. However, I do have a bit of a niche in the business owners and professionals. I suppose is a space that I feel I can deliver a lot of value to. Those people who are running their own businesses seem to have more, in the insurance side of things, more needs that I can help with, and they've got more entities or structures that you can get a bit more creative with coming up with solutions. So I can help anyone with anything, I think, but I really add some value in that business owner and professional space.
Beautiful. What about you, Glenn? What's your ideal client? Because this is something we've worked on with you as well.
Yeah, predominantly for me, working in the retiree space. I find that a lot of people that are coming up to retirement, they certainly need some help to navigate the ups and downs of coming into retirement, and then not to mention financial markets and all those sorts of things. So it's a big step for a lot of us coming into retirement. So yeah, it's a key point to get some advice.
I totally agree. So one of the things, that we're experiencing, we're in lockdown here in Auckland. One of the things that you guys have been through is this roller coaster through Australia of going in and out of lockdowns. How's that affected business? I want to ask, from business owner to business owner, and everybody who watches these podcasts, they're all business owners too. Has that really impacted not just your business, but your industry?
Last year, 2020, when people first found out what COVID was and the mass sort of panic, there was a big rush to insurance. Like for those 2 months of March and April in 2020, we experienced a rush, but also the insurers all reported they had almost like kind of record months of people going, I need life insurance. But I think it's stabilized a lot. There was also that period of time when people were contacting us and saying, I don't know where my income is going to come from, so therefore I want to cancel my insurance. And thankfully, a lot of the insurers had some other mechanisms rather than cancel, that you could pause the policy, and they had these COVID relief measures. So rather than cancel and then have to restart some other time, you could pause and just come back to the insurance at a future time. So it's largely stabilised. I know that we're in Brisbane, but talking with some of our counterparts down south who are in more severe lockdowns than we've been, they've said that a lot of clients are saying, we'll get back to the idea of progressing our financial plan when we know we're out of this. So people are kind of putting things off a bit.
Yeah. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing actually here across multiple industries in New Zealand, Pete?
Yeah, pretty much just like everyone's gone into hold pattern just to see where we all go. But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess if they've been proactive and they've got all this stuff sorted with you already, I mean, they must, you must have quite a few clients sitting there, not even worried about it because, you guys have got in there first, I suppose, and made sure that everybody, especially with maybe the,
well, certainly Glenn did that on the investment side, like our retirees. You can talk to that in that March time in the markets, we're going whoosh down.
It's definitely as advisors, especially in the investment space, we don't wake up one morning and go, oh, we didn't see that coming. And what I mean by that is that whilst you don't know what the correction is going to be or exactly when it's going to be, the important part is that you've got to prepare for it. So proper planning prevents a lot of anxiety when things do start correcting you really quickly and you're seeing values drop, especially in retirement. And so from that perspective, I suppose I sound like a broken record to my clients about, markets are high and, things are great, but we just don't know what's around the corner. So we need to prepare for that. So when we're going through the depths of COVID, whilst it is, not a great feeling, of course, at the end of the day is that you're prepared for it, which is really important.
Yeah.
And if anything, can be a great opportunity.
And
so that's what we were doing last year, is taking that opportunity where we can.
Yeah, good point. I guess sometimes you like you're saying, a little bit of a broken record or a little bit of a smarty pants going, well, see, I told you so, when it happens. But I think if anyone gets to Skype like that, I guess it's you guys, because that's what it's not called financial planning for no reason, So well done to you.
Pete, touche.
Congratulations for being so proactive and onto it. So.
I think so too.
A big part of what Glenn does is managing risk. And so, like when the markets are going up, Glenn's always having a conversation. Maybe not all advisors are, but Glenn's having conversations saying we probably should take some profit here and hold some cash because history shows something comes around the corner, and we don't want. If you're particularly retired, you don't want everything in the market all at the same time necessarily. So.
Yeah, and I think that sounding like a broken record is actually giving reassurance, because the subject or the things that we talk about doesn't change. So whether markets are up or they're down, it's the same plan of what we need to be doing to navigate the ups and downs and get you through retirement, make sure that you've got a good bucket of money, that you can keep getting that income. And I think that gives clients reassurance, because the bottom line is it's all about trust. Who do you trust? Yes. And especially when it's about your money, you're relying on someone to look after you with it's important.
Look, I totally agree. And one of the things that I've really learnt by working alongside you guys, so we've been friends with you guys. We met at the beginning of last year in real life when we were able to travel. We came to Brisbane to meet with you guys and look at ways to explore the brand story, purely to build trust with your existing clients, continue those touch points, but also to reach out to other people who don't know you and extend that trust further in ways that were a little bit more efficient. So video's been a great example. Rebuilding your website was a great way to add more content to help your clients make better decisions around their own financial futures. Increasing your social media strategy and developing that. So all of that's been largely about education. And Neil, one of the things that you said about Glenn was that management of risk. In your work too, Neil, you're dealing with risk, but from a different perspective. Delivery, I think it's groceries. How has sort of the social media content that you guys have done and purely around the education stuff, how has that worked for you guys as a strategy? Not just for looking after your existing clients, but potentially for onboarding new clients. What have you learned? What have you discovered?
I discovered that I don't suck in front of the camera. Maybe I do today, but maybe I do today. Thanks. I was fishing for that. No, I started with putting together, because I've got so much experience in the industry, I started putting together some of the commonly asked questions and concepts that I answer over and over. I thought maybe if I make videos, I can say it once and then share that, and other people will connect with that and go, oh, good point. And then as I started to put those out into Facebooks and LinkedIn and stuff like that, got reward from people saying, I watched your video and I thought you made a good point about this. And so I want you to review my insurance. And it's like, wow, people are actually listening. Maybe I made some sense in that case. And I'd heard that social media, I've been and seen different people speak about you need to be in this social media space, but not being a huge Facebook user or that sort of thing, it was like, oh, really? Is it about having paid ads everywhere? I don't know. But then talking with you guys was about, just putting the real Neil out there and people connecting or
Neil.
not with that, and building that trust. I think we said that just before. And so, been a good journey, and I can now do a live if I need to.
That's right, and the building that trust content. What people often forget, and when we're talking to people, is they forget that brand awareness is really good. You need to be everywhere to saturate the market so a brand is familiar, but it's where you're getting to that trust level. That's where actually somebody's moved down your sales funnel and they're actually considering whether they're going to give their money to you or your competitor. So that trust content is actually critically important to a digital strategy. So one of the things obviously that we talked to you about right from the get-go was fill your website with more video content around those pain points, and fill your social media with live. And it doesn't always have to be a hard sell. It's about giving the education, and you've had a great response from people. Glenn, that same sort of strategy has worked for you, but in a different way. Tell me about how that's worked for you.
Yeah, definitely for me, going into this, I guess, marketing, video, social media, and all that sort of stuff, I didn't want it to be this, shiny thing that you're trying to sell or anything like that. I just wanted to be myself and basically see the genuineness of who we are as a group, as financial planners. So then when someone walks in through our office door, that it's the same. And Pete and Monique, you've been fantastic with making sure that we do that, which is really great. But yeah, it's really bizarre where the videos really help. Like, for example, I was seeing some clients there earlier in the year, and I couldn't get to see the wife. She was busy, so she couldn't come to some of these appointments, but she was actually watching some of my videos. So she was actually sort of getting that interaction and getting to know me via videos when I was talking to the husband on face-to-face meetings. So yeah, and that worked really well through the process, the funnel process, like you call it, Monique.
That's
so
fascinating. That's incredible. I just you might have already touched on it, but I just remember there was a story of somebody turning up to the office once, Glenn, saying, I want to work with Glenn. I don't want to work with anybody else. I've seen Glenn's videos.
See his videos, he's great.
Yeah. I guess, how has it helped for both of you? How has it helped getting your authentic message down to a nice little succinct 60 seconds on a video kind of thing? Has that really been a really good process for you, so that now when somebody asks you things, you don't waffle around all over the place, you actually know the answer because you've just had to do it in a video?
And we pushed you.
Has that helped at all? Can you kind of just expand on that?
Definitely, our video filming has just, you were used to sort of block out an hour and a half to do one video, whereas now we can do 3 or 4 back-to-back in half an hour, and it's just like, righto, we got the formula, was the 5 eyes that you taught us.
Thank you.
If you follow the framework, you can't go wrong. So we feel a lot better in that space. I don't know whether in front of clients that's changed my approach anyway. I think I've always been able to connect with the clients and get a simple explanation across.
Yes.
So
But
just
of
the
course,
improvement has been around doing the videos over and over, doing more of them. You always get better with practice.
It's a funny thing with business is that, like, you know, with Neil being in the industry for apparently donkey's years, 40 years or something, is that you just always got to be adapting and changing, and things are moving all the time. Like, we've got this thing called social media, and you've got to do these things called videos and stuff like that. And it just surprises me with business how you've got to keep adapting and evolving, because if you don't, you just get left behind. And so this was just another segment of you have to adapt. And you know, basically, Neil and I, we're financial planners. We really know our stuff. But from a marketing perspective and being in front of a camera, we have no idea. And so we need to be trained and taught of how you do these things. And that's where it's really great with you guys helping us with that. Like, it's
thanks.
so important. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I just want to come back to when you went to answer the door there, Pete, one of the things that you talked about, Neil, was, and I love this phrase, people get to know the real Neil. And it's the same with the same Glenn. Like you said, people come in and you want to make sure that the people that they see in the video is the same person that they're going to see in the office. So what do you both think from each of you? What do you both think has helped you identify that authentic persona? What have you done? What's really worked for you? Because that's one of the things that most people come to us going, I don't know who to be on camera. Yeah. So what do you think's really worked for you guys?
I think we've got a very comfortable relationship with Glenn and I. Like, we are very, when we first started working with you, one of my dilemmas was, how do we promote Fairway Financial when we're two very different? We've got different target markets, the retirees and the business people. And it's like, how does that actually work in promoting Fairway? And he said, it's easy to promote Fairway because you're both unique and you both got something great to offer. And you took us through a process, I think, of wealth dynamics, which was really helpful to just go, well, I've answered to myself, and I can now go, this is who I am, this is what I do. And the thing that came up for me was creation or creativity. And I was like, really? How do I do that? And then it was like, well, people talk with me, and then I create their solution, like their plan for insurance. But I create that. I go, well, that's the part I love. I don't like the compliance, but I love the creativity side of that. And then getting back to somebody going, hey, I think I've got a solution for you. I don't know if I've answered your question, but
that's good enough for me. So it's really finding your niche. I love that. It's great.
Glenn,
Glenn,
you want to just have a bit of a chat about that too? You pretty much came across to us straight away as being the people connector. Do you want to explain was that kind of quite an interesting experience, finding a little bit more about that?
Yeah, look, I love to have a chat, have a cuppa, and talk about how can I help you, and find out like people's stories over the years is just, I find it really fascinating, and it's just the trials and tribulations people have had over their life. Like, everyone has a story, and I just find that really fascinating. And if I can be a part to help someone with their financial needs, I think that's just fantastic. Like, how cool is that? And so from a video perspective and all that sort of stuff that we do is just that tell us a story. And I think, Nick, if we can talk about the GNT, which is quite good.
Yep.
Totally, and keep telling us because it's a bit of an odd concept when you're dealing with financials and health and retirees, and you've got this thing called a G&T. Tell us about that, Glenn.
Yeah, so the G&T is basically, I've got a few videos I've done so far, and many more to come when I have my time to do these videos. But it's basically sitting down and having a conversation with an existing client and just talking about their story, because people have so many great stories. And despite the fact that, as financial planners, we can educate and provide a lot of information, the gold nuggets that people have of how they've overcome a tragic event of losing a partner just before retirement or something like that, it's amazing to get that feedback from the horse's mouth, so to speak, from a client, and then be able to share that via video and an interview that people can watch and relate to, because we all have similar stories. And so we developed the G&T, which is basically catching up with Glenn with a cup of tea. There's a bit of gin and tonic, I think.
It's
Nothing wrong with
that. It's essentially your podcast, isn't it? So
Yeah.
And Neil, you've got a podcast as well coming up.
Get real with Neil.
Which was so interesting that you said it's been, doing video and, going live and now doing this podcast is essentially an opportunity for people to see the real Neil, but now your podcast is called Get Real with Neil. How did that how did that happen?
You made me do it.
Thank you very much. Yes, I did. Well, we all know it's a great education tool. It's a great sales tool. And one of the things that we try to teach people is take a good piece of content, put it everywhere, and to be able to take your video content and turn that into a podcast as well, I think is a time-efficient process. Where did the term "Get Real with Neil" come from? I think that's the question I was meaning to ask.
Yeah. Well, I think what I realised in the last sort of 18 months with you guys is that not only do we run a financial planning business and we help our clients, we've also got great connections over many years. And we have clients come into us or new people come into us and say, I saw this person and they gave me this. And you look through it and you go, well that's not right. Like, who have you paid money for this and you haven't got a great experience or a great outcome. It's not going to do what you want. So part of the idea of the Get Real, as it's called now, with Neil, is for me to interview some people that I've known over a long period of time who I think do a great job, or I know do a great job. And I just want to share that information out there with people. And the Get Real is just about, like, there's an answer, but then, okay, what's the real answer? And I'm not going to take the wishy-washy sort of answer if somebody gives me a wishy-washy answer. So I want to know what's behind it. I've learned that that's the thing for me, is to understand why. And I think other people might be interested in that.
I think so.
So the Get Real is actually digging a bit deeper beyond just the first answer, and finding out why, what's behind it, and then people can be more informed to help themselves.
Totally agree. And it's part of your sort of your education, but it's that commitment to authenticity, which is part of your trust building as well, I think, as a persona, a marketable persona. Would you sort of agree with that?
I hope so.
Good, because I do. I think it's great.
I think so too.
Now, there's two other things that have popped up for me during this chat that I want to dive into. One is you've both mentioned compliance. Look, to be honest, we've got lots of people, lots of friends, lots of colleagues, lots of clients who are in some sort of professional service, and compliance has got tougher. I even want to say a shout out to all the teachers out there who have to tick all these boxes with compliance as well. Completely different, but I think of my mum, who is amazing, still teaching, and she still has to go through and make sure she's covered every single, ticked every box, and there's just so much involved. So one of the things we recommended to you guys is to look at compliance differently and look at using video as part of that process, from onboarding and making sure that all the information is being fed through to your clients in the right way. And I know that's an ongoing, evolving process. How is that sort of working for you? Because I know you're starting to integrate that into your processes of your business now. How's that working for you?
It's been a little bit slower than anticipated. Just pulling the trigger on the right combination between saying what needs to be said from the compliance point of view, and then also adding the value to somebody who's watching it. That's over so many years. Like our business motto is the right thing to do. But look, we feel really strongly that we've been doing the right thing forever, and the compliance feels a bit like now you got to prove it to everybody that you're doing it. It's like, well, we've been doing it. We've demonstrated that. We've got happy clients, no complaints. So, I'm on my high horse. I better get off my high horse.
No, it's all good.
So the video stuff is a way that we can make sure, or we want to be able to make sure, that we're ticking those boxes we talked about, but also informing the clients and giving them meaningful and valuable information about the process that they're likely to encounter in dealing with us or dealing with financial advice, and making it consistent, so we're not feel like we're repeating ourselves all the time, we can have the conversation, but then back it up with the video content.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to compliance as well, is that because it's so much to it, is that if it's in a video format, like the client can go and watch that back again if they want, whenever they want. And so they don't miss those important aspects of compliance as well, but they don't need us there to be explaining it. It's in video.
I guess what you're saying is, there's a certain amount of repeatability of the things you need to say to clients over and over again, and this sounds like it's a really good way to capture that message in a way that you can basically send it to them in an email and say, here, watch this video to get all of this, and then once you understand those concepts, then I'll come and explain them fully in person. I guess it's a way.
Yep.
So you're using it to do a little bit of fishing, a little bit of connect to people without wasting your time. And then if they jump out of your sales funnel, then you haven't wasted any of precious time with them. But if they stay in it and come back to you, then it sounds like it's like, yeah, they're
It's
on
a
the hook.
no-brainer.
It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it as well, Pete, is that I'm putting together some videos at the moment, a thread of them in terms of the process of when you first come and meet us to then final implementation stage. And for each one of those steps, we've done a video around that as well, which we'll be sending out to clients to say, hey, we've got our next meeting coming up. This is some things that are going to be important about that meeting and what you need to be prepared for and what bits that we might need from you and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, from an education perspective, it's flows quite nicely, I think, with your face-to-face meetings. And then when you're not there, then there's an email which will have an attachment video there educating them about what's going to come next.
That's great.
It just
it's a good
sounds
touch
like,
point.
yeah, it just sounds like you guys are pretty clever, really.
Oh, it sounds like you're very
That's
clever.
Yeah.
And Mr. Gary Brown, who is watching the stream today, he goes, yeah, that sounds like Monique making you do it. Yeah. Which is not. You wouldn't do it if you didn't think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And also, Gary just said explaining different topics in individual podcasts would be really beneficial. And that's obviously something that we've chatted with you guys about, is really focusing in each podcast around what, your sort of key focus topic. I mean, Glenn, yours is obvious. You're talking to individual people about their transformational stories or life-changing events, which provides inspiration as well as information for your clients or for the listeners. Neil, yours is more on the educational side, really highlighting, like you said, businesses that are making a difference. And I know that, from my own experience, I mean, this is effectively a video podcast right now. Going live, there's a different energy to doing pre-recorded content. And I wanted to come back to this because you mentioned earlier in the chat, Neil, about going live and highlighted that. And Glenn, you were saying as well, keeping on top of social media, you've got to be present all the time and you've got to be on top of what's going on. One of the things I like to teach people is it's not always about being right, but it is important to be right now. So what's that experience of going live like for you guys? Because that is quite a new thing. We've been doing it for a long time, so it's like eating cheese for us. I don't know why I thought cheese, but
Drinking champagne,
it's like drinking champagne. I love cheese. I'm obsessed with cheese. So, and I love going live, and champagne, obviously, and gin and tonic as well. But I want to know for you guys, what's that different experience for you guys like doing a pre-record? Because, I'm coming back to video marketing. That's what what we love right now. What's that different experience for you guys like doing a pre-record as opposed to going live?
Yeah, I think they're all quite different experiences, aren't they? And for me, look, I don't know whether you ever get used to doing videos, to be honest, but it's one of those things that it's a good thing to do. You just be yourself, and you don't have to be something that you don't want to be, of course. And as business owners, we're good at what we do. And so at the end of the day, you just got to share that by video. And if that means that I can educate more people and inform them, I think that's really cool. So that's what's going on in my head, rather than have I mixed up my words? How many have I said? And all those sorts of things. So because people, they just want to see who you are. And the more you are yourself, I think that's a good thing. But yeah, the lives are certainly tricky, but I think it's just your comfort zone, hey, Mako, is that you your comfort zone gets bigger and bigger the more things you do. And now, as we said before about videos, like we can make videos really quickly now, where once it took us probably well over an hour and all the thinking about what we've got to say. But yeah, Neil's done a few more lives than me.
I didn't know this was going live. There we go.
Oh yeah, we're live. We're live right now on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. We're even live on your Facebook page right now, just to let you know.
Oh, see, this is
only in New Zealand, though, so that's okay.
Oh no, we're global, baby, because we're live.
Global.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few lives now. I find the lives a bit easier if it's on a more real life topic rather than I'm trying to tell you something about insurance, for example. But I like to find a reference that if I'm talking as a Fairway representative, that I find a link to the topic. I know that I did one where I just walked out the back of the office into a park a few weeks ago. It was after one of my auntie's funerals, and there's just a couple of things that came up in that sort of day, and the feelings that come up around estates, and she was well into her 90s or late 80s, I think. So like it wasn't a shock or that sort of thing, but we've had a client that's just passed away, just shy of 50 in the last 2 weeks, and like that's a way bigger deal. And so the lives, I feel like I can make a connection back to my specialty. If there's a link there, like the funeral to life insurance, like that was kind of a more relevant one that I found there. I guess my approach, now that I'm done a few of them, is to definitely know my opening, know where I want to get to, and then hopefully hit these three things in the middle. And it doesn't always happen. And almost invariably, I click close and I go, oh, I didn't say that.
We know what we feel your pain. We feel do it your all pain. The time.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get it.
We could talk for hours.
We could be. Yep. We literally could.
Especially as the two of us going. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it was you were highlighting this actually as well, Glenn, is talk about your highlight your topic, make sure you've got a good structure in place. It allows you to let a bit of artistry out, right? So for you guys both, it is a great opportunity to perform. But what I'm taking away from what you've both said and what you've learned, obviously, through this experience of using video specifically, is the importance of preparation and practice. Like Glenn, you were even saying, you get better, you get faster. It's like learning to cook, right? I'm not a great cook, but the more that I do it, the better I get. Would you guys say that video and going live is the same thing?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Nice.
Beautiful. Good answer.
That was very very succinct there.
Like it.
Now I've got a couple of questions. Well, one question to ask both of you now. So what I need is from Neil and from Glenn. I need your top tip for other business people. What's that top tip that's just really there? Your one big sage bit of advice that you could hand out to people now on watching this later and live now.
I think is if we're talking about what we're talking about videos and stuff like that, is just get out there and have a crack. Like the first couple, just do a couple of selfie videos first, get some practice, and just see what you're like on a video. People are there just to know more about you, so just relax about it. You know your stuff as a business owner. Like you've been doing this for years, so actually share that information. And just because there's a camera in front of you, you're the expert. So share that info and just get on there and have a go, because you'll find that your competition's probably not doing it, and that's your edge.
Nice.
Oh, I love that. As Oprah would say, that's a tweetable moment. Very, very nice. Very good. You win a car. Everybody wins a car. So what about you, Neil? What would you say is, through all this experience you've had, what would be your tip?
My tip would be to find some people, i.e. you guys, who know there's support people, because before we open our mouth on camera, like we've had a chat with you about we might want to talk about this, and you go, oh, could you talk about it in this context? And you go, oh, that's much better. I could easily do that. I was going down a path of me being serious about my topic. And you go, well, no, I think the audience would prefer it in this way, and da, da, da. So having support, we've also got access to Ange, who supports us by putting things in our diary, times and topics and reminders. So we do, everybody gets busy, and we would slip a lot more than we do if we didn't have somebody also in our ear and in our diaries making things happen for us. So if you're going to do it, I think you've got to be consistent.
Yeah, you need some help.
You need some help, yeah. Like,
keep you accountable at the very least.
Yeah, I would agree, because it is so easy to get busy doing your business.
Totally.
Yeah.
But all this other stuff is what helps fuel that business. That's your driving your pipeline. And if you forget that, all of a sudden you wake up one day, there's no pipeline. So I totally agree. And yeah, I do want to make a shout out to Ange as well, who does keep you guys accountable. And she's constantly driving you, going, right, what are we filming this week? You know, what's going into our social media? What's going out through the newsletter? What value are you giving your clients, but also what value are you giving out to attract new people in? So I do want to say a big shout out. She's really embraced that as well. So Ange, if you're watching, which you probably are, shout out to you. Snaps for you, Ange. Snaps for you. And look, I've really enjoyed this chat with you guys today. We were threatening to get you on the show, making you do stuff, because that's what I do. And just to hear your take on it, because you know, often we're showcasing this is what a person has done, but what I really wanted to hear was, what was that experience like for you? So I'm glad to see you're not crying. That's good. And that in fact it's working for you, because that's always good too.
Yeah, it is good.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah, we've got some contact details, of course, for you.
Contact details.
If
you are in Australia, to our global audience, if you are in Australia, reach out to the guys, check out the website, fairwayfinancial.com.au. There's a great story on there.
And I think as well, Monique, is that if you're like me, a dad with a 9 and 11-year-old son, is that you get bragging rights because you're on YouTube and you're on Spotify. So that's pretty cool.
Well, you just are very cool then, Glenn.
Yeah.
Aren't you? And so are you, now that, Neil, now that you've got your podcast up and running on Spotify, iTunes, and Google, everywhere. iHeartRadio, you guys. So you've got G&T with Glenn Dibley, and you've got Get Real with Neil. So look out for those podcasts and hear their stories. There you go. It's a lot for me to remember. You guys are everywhere. That's ubiquitous marketing. That's what it's all about. Glenn, Neil, thank you guys so much. Thank you for making this technology happen. Pete's always fragmented in these podcasts because he's managing the sound, managing the vision, and trying to wrangle me as well, which is like wrangling cats sometimes. So well done, Pete.
And bring in the groceries.
Yep,
and bringing in the groceries.
Yes. Sorry about that. Thank you.
So guys,
a great job.
Thank
too.
you. So thanks to everybody who's watching today as well. Glenn Dibley, Neil McDonald, thank you from Fairway Financial. I am Monique Bradley.
And I'm Pete Ward. So
thanks,
guys.
This was the Dog and Pony Show. We'll see you guys again soon.
Okay, brilliant.
Time to go.
There we go. That is us. And if you want to get in touch with us, of course, Your Fix Communications, Pete Ward, Monique Bradley, there is our website. It is yourfixcommunications.com. And if you want to get in touch with an email to us, you can get in touch, info@yourfixcommunications.com, if you want to find out of any of the goodness that we've helped Fairway Financial with. Getting their messaging right, getting the 5 eyes they mentioned there, which is a
very special technique,
special little technique of communications, and dare I say it, media manipulation.
Ooh, Pete, that sounds exciting.
So get in touch and have a great day wherever you are,
take care,
and
guys.
whatever you're doing.
Take care, and if you've enjoyed this, remember, like the page that you've watched this on so you can stay connected, and please, please, please share these videos. We want to help more people get themselves out there because we do famous. All right, got to go, guys. Take care.
See ya.